Hello everyone. Sandesh, can you please share your screen?
Can everyone see my screen okay?
Yeah.
Thanks, Sean.
Okay, we will just give a minute and then we start.
Is the recording on, Chakri?
It's on automatically.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Hello everyone. Hope you are all doing well and thanks for joining the session. Yeah. Firstly, a little bit of housekeeping. Sandesh.
Yep.
Yeah. So the session is getting recorded and it will be shared to all of you people. Secondly, the microphones and the cameras are disabled. However, please feel free to use the Q&A section to ask any questions. We will try to answer during the session or we get back to you later because there is a lot of content to cover in this session. Yeah. Then feel free to reach out to support@datavinya.com.au for any connectivity issues. We'll just put that in the chat as well later. So here is the agenda for today. So there will be a quick introduction about the presenters, John, Sandesh, and me, and then about briefly on DatAvinya, who we are, what we are into, and where we operate from. The John will then take us to the architecture, how architecture of SAP BDC is designed for real business outcomes. Post that, Sandesh will take us through the use case about the diesel price forecasting using the ML models in SAP Databricks with the source as the actual data coming from BW data products. With the predictive data, which is thus generated, it would be then taken to SAC for the what if analysis using the visualization part. In the demo, the key highlights would be the data product generation, which is happening at the BW PCE. The second one is the forward and the reverse delta sharing capabilities, which we will show you as part of this demo. Next, we will have the Q&A, followed in the last with what is the topic for the next webinar. In fact, we look forward to the same one because that is another game-changing functionality from SAP. Coming to the speakers, yeah, John is a very well-known name in APAC BDC world. In his previous role as a senior solution advisor for SAP Datasphere, as well as in the current BDC solution advisor roles, he has been seen as who empowering the clients as well as the partners. Sandesh and me, we come up with around 2 decades of experience. We work in SAP Data Analytics, planning, and leadership roles we have been through. Next one, Sandesh, please. So the name DatAvinya, it actually comes from 2 words. Data is data and Avinya means innovation in Sanskrit. So in short, the vision is to bring innovation in data analytics space to serving our clients. So we operate in major cities of Australia and New Zealand, as you can see, And we are a growing team of SAP professionals, certified SAP professionals. We believe we bridge the gap between the business and IT effectively. As you can see, we complement our technical skills, which is across all the SAP analytics, including HANA modeling and ABAP, with our experience or certification in functional areas, which encompasses the supply chain, logistics and procurement, finance, as well as the payroll. Between me and Sandesh, we have been part of many SAP events globally, and we are also ecosystem build member with SAP. In terms of the service offerings, we help clients navigating the adoption of SAP Analytics solutions with the fitment analysis, as well as giving them a trusted governance model. In the other area where we see a lot of traction these days is clients would like to have some critical POCs to be delivered before they can take an informed decision. This is where we should be able to help you navigate that critical initial path. The last one is the team entirely have worked on leading many end-to-end implementation across the SAP Analytics solutions. So I will stop it here. Then over to you, John. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Jackery. And so what I'll do is I'll spend 10 to 15 minutes just going through the BDC architecture and some of the use cases and obviously the business value that customers are getting out of it now as well. So thanks, Sandesh. I'll just get you the next one. So from a business data cloud perspective, it is a set of technologies that you've probably seen for a while now with SAP. The name is new. It's about a year old now, but a lot of the underpinning technologies are being modernized and revamped. But what they've been done is they've modernized to suit current business requirements from the customers, where they want quick, easy access to SAP data and still utilizing some of the existing SAP data and analytics capabilities as well. So tools and capabilities like Business Warehouse, which has been a front and center capability of SAP reporting and analytics for many years. We've been able to bring that forward into the Business Data Cloud. So you can utilize the rich business semantics out of that as one example within the Business Data Cloud. So that is one example. One of the key strategies of SAP is making data accessible, and for reporting, analytics, and of course AI. So what we do is depending on what version you're on with SAP, we can make it as simple as possible. Ideally, if you are on a cloud solution, that's when you can use the SAP software as a service capabilities, where we will populate the Business Data Cloud. We will give you the front end analytics, and we will give you obviously the simplicity of accessing the SAP data end to end, with the ability to join third-party data sets as well. So that's if you're on a cloud solution, so like S4, Ariba, Concur, and Fieldglass. And if you are not yet on that cloud capability, we've got capabilities which I'll talk about in a minute. But what we've done is we've partnered with the leading data providers like Databricks and now Snowflake. And then you'll also see, obviously, on our roadmap, we've got Google and Microsoft coming through as a strong pattern and simplicity of access to SAP data. So working with both those open partners and then also working with SAP technologies natively. So you can see the business AI component and the BTP. So we can reuse those capabilities, and they form a strong element to be able to do that right back and integration back into the core applications and the business suite capabilities. So from that perspective, we have built those scenarios end to end where they do the playback along that middle section of technology, and then up the top where you have the business scenarios where you have obviously the current capabilities. You have a visualization, but also the newer ones with the intelligent apps and some more of those extensions as well. So what I'll do now is I'll drill into a couple of those different types of scenarios most of our customers are in, because that makes it more relevant to your current capabilities as well. So Sandesh, if you will get the next slide.
Yep.
Thanks. So this is the overarching example of an architecture that customers can deploy. So down the bottom, we've got all the different source systems and source capabilities, either being a third-party data set, a private and public cloud landscape, or your on-premise capabilities. In the middle, we have the object stores where we store the data as an object store format. So from here, you can see they get Delta shared within SAP capabilities now. And then also we can Delta share them through the BDC Connect, which then is our open data partners. And then up in the middle section, we've got the Databricks component. So that's an SAP Databricks flavored version. We have Datasphere for native modeling within SAP as well. And then we can also bring across your BW landscape. And then at the top, we've got the intelligent apps, which are again provided by SAP, which gives the visualizations to your users. And as a service from SAP, you can keep them as core as they are, or you can choose to extend them if you need to as well. And that's where you extend it with third-party data as you need, and from there getting that pointed business use case and value components out of it as well. And then of course at the top right, we've got SAP Analytics Cloud, where you can have your own intelligent apps, utilize SAC planning, and then do traditional business intelligence components as well. So what I'll do as this overall overarching component where you've got all the different options. If we think about the deployments that you've got typically today, Sandesh, if you go to the next slide. Yep. So what I've done is I've pulled it out and said, okay, if you're purely just running S4HANA, Ariba, SuccessFactors, Fieldglass, you can just go to the object store, use Datasphere and intelligent apps. So this is a minimal capability which gets you started in this space. It's very quick to do. It is literally clicking through the cockpit and making these components accessible. And we've had customers go live in this capability already within Australia and New Zealand. So from that perspective, this is the minimal option with a cloud solution. And obviously from there, you can then extend it and go from there and use more of the features within Business Data Cloud, and then our open data providers as well. If you haven't quite yet gone to S4 Public Cloud, or sorry, PCE, Private Cloud Edition, or Public Cloud, Sandesh, you may still be on ECC and on-premise. So from that perspective, we cater for that in the way that we would connect to your source system, use Datasphere. Datasphere will populate the on-premise data products or potentially an ECC. From there, you can also Delta share those objects out through the Business Data Cloud connector, or alternatively, you can use your BW landscape, and BW can directly create the data products into the object store as well. So this gives you the ability to make BW data accessible in the object store, which then you can share with your BDC Connect, which then can make it be shareable with Databricks and Snowflake, and in turn Fabric and Google Cloud. So we do cater for customers who are still on ECC and S4 on premise to get them have AI accessible scenarios. There is a little bit more work to be done, or you can bring your BW landscape into PCE and that makes it easier. But we have customers who are building out this architecture pattern that is managed by them, but it gives them still access to the data products that they manage. And we call this the customer managed data products. So Sendish. So finally, what we've got for today's demo, and I'm super excited that the DatAvinya team have built this out. We actually have just moved the landscape over into a local region and rebuilt all this, and they're the first guys to utilize it properly as well. So it's using everything from a S4. Actually, the box down the bottom is almost irrelevant because it could be an on-prem or it could be a cloud. But the key thing is what they're doing is using BW and the assets that we've already got deployed into that landscape. We're using some third-party data. The BW, as you'll see, will write into the object store. And then in this instance, we'll be using SAP Databricks to then do some enrichment with some ML, and then bringing that all through to Analytics Cloud. So this is all contained within a simple business data cloud landscape. It's all then managed and run by SAP, and then obviously can be extended and enriched, as you can see by our partners here with DatAvinya today. So what I'll do is hand it over to the exciting bit now. So I think Sendish, you're running through the demo.
Yep. Yeah. Thanks, John.
All right, great.
So yeah, thanks. That was very good, John. Thanks. So what I will do now is I will walk you through the model, how it works, and quickly explain that how data is exchanged between its different components. So here are all the BDC components that we have used, and John briefly spoke about it, like what are the components. So on the left is BW PCE, which is our BW 4 HANA PCE edition. And in the middle, we have Object Store, Datasphere, and SSE. On the right, we have SAP Databricks. So we start with the BW PCE model. Here I have a user actuals in an ADSO. Then we generate a data product on this to use the data in Datasphere using this data product generator. And the data will actually move from BW PCE to Object Store. So now that the data is available in the SAP Object Store, the second, what I can do is from here, I will share that to the Datasphere modeling space. So that data is available now for my modeling. The second data set we have is the diesel volume forecast, which I have manually uploaded in Datasphere. In real world, it can come from the demand forecast tool. The third data set that I have is the market index data for future months, March to June 2026. This also I have uploaded manually in Datasphere. This is basically the benchmark index data for the future months. Now we want to use this data along with actuals to create a predictive model in Databricks. So we create a data product, which is now then available in Object Store. Now that we have both the data products, we need to do a delta share it to Databricks. So just briefly on what delta share means. So delta share is a data sharing mechanism that lets SAP Databricks reads BDC data products without copying them into Databricks storage. So basically, the data still resides in BDC, but it can be read by Databricks in real time. Once the delta share is done, both these data sets are available in Databricks. Now we use this data to build our predictive model using a Python notebook. So I write a custom AIML model using Python notebook, which we'll go through shortly. And then I use this model to generate the predictions for the price forecast for those 4 months. Now I saved that forecast in a local Databricks table, and now I want to do a delta share back to Datasphere. Now we can use this price forecast in our modeling space once we have it in Object Store, just by sharing it in our modeling space. And that's how we have all the data sets available for our modeling. Then the final step is to combine these data sets into a fact view and use an analytical model to consume it in SSE story. Okay, now let's look at how all of this will look in the system. So I will go into the system now. Okay. So the screen that you can see now is the modeling tool HANA Eclipse, which is Eclipse tool for the BW modeling. And this BWA4H is the BW4 PCE that I mentioned earlier. So here I have this ADSO called mining diesel actuals, which could be either sourced from S4 or any other SAP system. So I will just do a preview on data. So you can see here we have the cal month starting from 2024 January to February 2026. We have the site, we have supplier, and we have the different index data captured at that point in time. So these are the different indexes that we have, market indexes. This is the crude oil prices in USD per barrel. This is the gasoline oil prices in USD per metric ton, then currency exchange rate for AUD USD, freight index. Then we have the actual volume consumed for those periods. And then last is the diesel price at which the diesel was purchased at that point in time. So this is all actual data. Now what we want to do is move this data as a data product to Datasphere. So for that, we'll go to BW4 cockpit. So those of you who are familiar with BW4 HANA might already be familiar with this screen. So this is the BW4 HANA cockpit. The only additional thing here is we have this app called Data Product Generator for Business Data Cloud. So this is additional in PCE. So we go to this app. Here we create a subscription. Basically, we are creating a data product. So once I click create, it will ask me for the description name, technical name, and the source. So source could be anything from your modeling object. It could be an ADSO, it could be a composite provider, it could be a multi-provider, it could be a BW query. For this demo, I'm using this ADSO table, and the target is our BW object store space within Datasphere. So this is already created BW DPG. And then I click save and activate. I have already done that, so I will not do it again. So once I click save and activate, what it will do is it will create a table, local table within my object store space in Datasphere. And once I click run, select this object and run, it will deploy the data in my local space within object store. So I will open this table, which will take me to the Datasphere object store space. So this is my table, which is exactly the same as what we saw earlier. So the data is all coming in here nicely. Okay. Okay. Now the next step is, so we have all these spaces. So BW DPG is the object store space from BW. Then we have data lake, local object store space, and we have the use cases space, which is my modeling space, which I'm going to use for my modeling. So within the use case space, I have loaded two additional data. So like I said, the forecast volume, I have loaded it manually, and the market data. So market data will just show you. So the market data is just basically all the indexes for the future months, because I need this along with the actuals to predict for my future diesel prices. Okay, now the next step is to use these actuals and market data in Databricks. So for that, I need to go to Datasphere data products. I need to create a data product out of these two objects. So here I have already created a data provider profile. So that is the first step. So data provider profile, I need to create it with the context of formation. So meaning all the tenants within your BDC, all the components within your BDC are linked together so that you can share data across. Then here I have created two data products. One is the market index data and second is the diesel consumption. So I'll just open one of them. So all you need to do here is just to select your artifact space, select, give the business name and the technical name, brief description, what it is. And context is always the formation. If you want to select it to, share it to Databricks or Snowflakes. Benchmark category, you can choose from anything from here. I have chosen benchmarking data because this is index data. Delivery mode is always delta share since it is formations. And then lastly, you need to select the product artifacts. So here you select the tables that you need to share. So in this case, I want to select the market index data. That is the table I have added here. And you save changes and you list, switch the status from draft to delisted to listed. Once you do that, the data product will be available as a delta share in Databricks in the target system. So what I will do is now go to Databricks. I have here, sorry, before that, so this will create a data product. So to do the sharing to Databricks, I need to do one more step, which is to go to my Business Data Cloud. And within Business Data Cloud, I need to go and open this data product from the catalog. So from here, I will open the market. So this is the market index data product which we created in Datasphere. So all I need to do here is just share it to the Databricks or the Snowflake tenant if you are using Snowflakes. So here I already done a sharing to Databricks. So what it does is it enables Databricks to read the data in real time from Datasphere without persisting the data in Databricks. So you need to add target and select the target system, which I already done as Databricks. But here you can see, depending on the components that you have within BDC, you can choose the objects that you want to be shared with. Okay, so once this share is done, you can go to your Databricks, SAP Databricks. So here under Delta Share Received, you will see those objects coming in. So I have done 2 shares, one for the diesel actual data, which is from the BW object store. So I have this data, which is the actuals. So along with the cal month, site, supplier, and the diesel price and the diesel actual volumes. The second is the market data, market index data. So these are for the next 4 months, what are the indexes? So that is this data. Okay, so we have it here. It is reading live from Datasphere. Okay, so the next step is to generate the predictive model. So I will go to workspaces. I've already written a Python notebook. I will open the notebook. So here you can write Python or SpicePark or SQL and generate all the predictive model. So I have used Python. So I have used the LLM tools like ChatGPT or Claude to generate this code. So it is pretty simple to do. So all I've done is I've just done some data massaging, got the data into right formats, prepare some history data. I have used XGB regressor model. This is one of the standard algorithm within Python, which gives you XGB model and use some parameters for the training. So I'm fitting the model with the train data sets, calculating the errors. So errors are pretty low, meaning the accuracy is good. Then next step, I'm building the future prediction base for each site and supplier. So basically applying that model on my newer data set, which is the market data, to calculate the diesel prices for March to June 2026. And that is what I'm doing here. And then last step is to save the final predictions to a local Databricks delta table. So this is the delta share. I've just given a name as a catalog, and the table name is diesel price forecast March, June. I've created this table while to save this forecast. So if I go to this delta share table, I can open that table. So we have this table here. I go to sample data. So we have the forecast written into this table. So you can see for the future months, March onwards, by site, by supplier, we have the predicted diesel prices. Now, the next step is to share this data back to Datasphere so that we can use it in our modeling. So within Databricks also there is an option to do delta sharing back to Datasphere. So I can click this share by delta sharing. I already done that, so I will just show you my share. So I have created this delta share object, and within this, I've given the recipient as SAP Business Data Cloud, which is the connection already created. So now I can go back to my Datasphere tenant. Once this share is done, I will go to the catalog again. And once the delta share is successful, I can see that object here. It's forecast. So this is the object you can see. It's coming in from Databricks as a delta share. So I can open this. So you can see the protocol is delta sharing. So this data is not sitting within Datasphere. It is coming from, it's reading from Databricks. So all you need to do here is to click this actions and install. It will ask you for the space where you want to install it. So I am building my modeling in use cases. So I will select the use case space and just click follow the instructions next. So once that is done, if I go back to my use case space, you can see here, this object is already available for me to use, and this is coming in from Databricks. So now the next step is to combine all these pieces together in the final fact view, which is this view. So here I'm combining everything together. So if I go to lineage, you can clearly visualize that the diesel price forecast values for March to June coming in from Databricks, the actual data coming in from the BW object store space, the forecast volume in the local use case spaces. I've used some time dimensions to enhance the data, and this is my final fact view. On top of this, I've created an analytical model, and this model I'm going to consume in my SSE story. So let's jump to SSE story quickly. So this is the SSE story. Here, what we are trying to do is try to simulate different scenarios. So the baseline forecast is coming from Databricks. Now, what we want to do is, based on the geopolitical scenario currently we are in, we want to simulate into three different scenarios. So low risk, meaning assuming the scenario would improve a little bit and there would not be much major supply delays. So we can see the diesel prices across March, April, May, and June, and what would be the diesel cost in millions in AUD. Then the medium risk is assuming the market volatility continues for a few more periods. Then what would be the diesel cost, diesel prices and diesel cost, and how it reflect here. So you can see compared to actual, there is a huge jump from March onwards. And last is the high risk, which is the war continues further and the global supplies are severed and the diesel prices continues to rise. Your diesel cost will go much higher. So using these scenarios, then the procurement teams can do some actions based on these, take preventive actions, so that you would be able to do like procure diesel in advance or negotiate some contracts with the vendors. Yep, that's all for the demo. So I think we can open for the Q&A.
Thanks. Thanks, Sandesh. I like your little imagery you've got going on there. It's it's a good touch to SAC. So
yeah.
So obviously you've done the analysis in this environment. So obviously, what could you do from a post what if scenarios that you've built out here? Because obviously, in this instance specifically, we don't have dual. But what are you thinking of what the follow-up actions could be?
Yeah, that's a good question. So, I mean, the real value of this SSC dashboard is like not just getting the insights, but to have the actions, right? And like I mentioned, so based on this, the procurement teams can take action, or we can to automate it further. We can have an integration with Joule, which can then generate recommendations based on these different scenarios. That, for example, Joule can provide some recommendations like lock-in contracts under certain low price scenarios, or delay or stagger purchases under high price scenarios, negotiate supplier terms, looking at the forward visibility.
Yeah, cool. And just, I know you only got access to this instance fully working just quite recently, but roughly how long do you think it would take to implement this, or did it take you to implement this?
Yeah, to be honest, I mean, this was quite faster. I could see that with BDC, the development times have reduced a lot. So typically this demo, in fact, we spent around 2 or 3 days max to build it. But obviously, from a customer point of view, depending on the maturity of their landscape and the customer specific parameters, we will have to deliver it in a phase-wise approach or a value-driven approach, where we can start with a quick POC or a pilot, which can take anywhere between 2 to 4 weeks, depending on the system and data availability. And the next phase for the customers, to make it production ready, we need to implement it with the proper governance, security, and performance optimization. But yeah, initial POCs and a pilot we can able to do it quickly.
Chakri, I don't know if you want to post the questions. I mean, we've got one in the chat that I've seen. So Sandesh, there's one that's, can we schedule the training model to be trained on new data? So scheduling of that.
Yes, so we can build a pipeline within Databricks. We can do that pipeline and we can do a scheduling of data because the delta share is running in real time. So we can do the scheduling of the pipeline and can read the data and train the models, and we can send it back again to Datasphere. So that can be done.
And the beauty of it is also, as you're updating it in Databricks, that is delta shared back directly to Datasphere as well. So that's a live feed through as well. So as you redo the model and schedule that in Databricks, that output then gets made available directly to Datasphere, and then in turn, SAP Analytics Cloud. So,
yep.
I see someone's polite. Chakri, do you need to unmute someone, or it can?
Zeenath, is it possible to post the question in Q&A?
Okay, in the meantime, John, I would like to ask you, so this Databricks and Snowflake tenants that we have, right? So many of the customers in ANZ region have their own existing Snowflakes and Databricks tenants. So can they use their existing tenants to link to the BDC formation?
Absolutely. And that's been one of our key mantras is customers can bring your own Databricks instance, and they can also, and Snowflake, and then also purchase from SAP, SAP Databricks or SAP Snowflake as well. So just depending on their existing landscapes, we do have some customers who are looking at doing both. So you can then have a SAP-centric Databricks or Snowflake instance, which could complement the enterprise one as well. Given that quite a few customers already have multiple Snowflake instances or Databricks instances, that's certainly a pattern that we're working with, and each customer's doing that differently at the moment as well. So
that's very good, because they have a lot of investments already done on this tenants, so they don't have to
exactly
redo it. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
The other question that I have, John, is so this is all good BDC with S4 with BW4, but what if the customers are on the lower systems like ECC? How can we get them on the AI use cases quickly?
Yes, so I think exactly what you showed then was where if they're using BW. So having that BW landscape and what you've just done is actually allowing those AI use cases. Obviously, you've done an ML predictive model, which is there, but in Databricks, you could have just done something with AI attached to a large language model, and then that output could have been written back the same as well. So certainly BW is an enabler. BW on Private Cloud Edition is an enabler into AI. Otherwise, you could still go down that original part that I spoke about with custom data products. That is a bit more work, a bit more technical. It would be a technical potential debt down the track, because when you did go into a S4 landscape, that what you had built would then be phased out for new data products as well. So you just need to be mindful of, if you did want to build it in ECC, it takes a bit more work, it needs a bit more technical skills, but it can be done. It's just if you are on ECC, it would certainly be by BW would be the easier option.
Thank you, John.
Yeah, agreed, John. I think many of the use cases where people want to quickly get up to BDC, and this pathway gives a very good direction. Like eventually everything would be delta sharing and how we can reuse the data products. So the question I have is, where should we deploy BDC? This is many of the clients have this confusion.
Yeah, good question. And we have just announced, or if you did read the roadmap, we are now supporting it in Asia, in addition to AWS in Sydney as well. So that has just come through. It was promised by before the end of this quarter, which we've done, which is great. But typically we recommend BDC goes closer to the consumer rather than the producer. So what I mean by that is, if you've got Databricks or Snowflake or your end users, you can put BDC closer to that Azure Databricks landscape or Snowflake or AWS, whichever. But then you're not going into region or into cloud provider as well, because the costs can be slightly different between going across regions or going across provider. So it's less reliant on that traditional putting it next to S4 or BW, because it's more of a trickle feed from those systems, whereas the big workload would be happening to the consumer. So from a cost performance benefit perspective, it's recommended to be near the consumer.
Yeah. Thanks for that. I think much needed answer for many people. And this is the journey for many of the clients, because they're multi-cloud scenario. They would like to know about this. Correct.
Yeah. I think there is one of the question in the chat around licensing. So from Brian, create scenario access to multiple licenses across SAP products like BW, Datasphere, BDC, and SSE, with some functionality, SSE functionalities like Joule, augmented analytics, and Compass for driver-based Monte Carlo analysis. For an example, similar to future pricing of diesel, what would be a scenario where a huge investment in licenses and resources would be really beneficial for a customer? having BW and Datasphere, for example, can be very costly. Why would a client have both simultaneously other than during a systems transition?
And we would position the BW on PCE to be that system transition. So as part of our recommendations for the BW modernization and getting off that, it's working out your ECC or S4 on-prem to private cloud capabilities and that journey and that timeline, but then also the BW modernization process where we lift it into PCE, we modernize it with Datasphere, and then we turn off BW at that right time. So that's where partners like DatAvinya can work through that timeline and ensuring that the costs from a license perspective are kept optimal and utilized correctly, so that you don't get too costly and having surplus components running as well. So it's keeping it utilized and optimal, and that there would be that transition from your BW licenses to BDC and Datasphere as that grows as well. But it is certainly a case-by-case scenario of timelines.
Yeah, great. Maybe I will just add one more thing. So yes, there are several products, but you have to look at horses for the courses, because we are thinking about advanced prediction capabilities of SAP Databricks. So you eventually have to come to the cloud environment. Second, like John has mentioned, it's a transition path. So BW, where they have already significant investment, they can't come to cloud immediately. So for them to take advantage of the AI use cases, they have to start investing a little bit and then go further.
Yep. Okay, there is another one from Pratap. Are there any limitations on what training models we can leverage in SAP Databricks? So maybe I'll answer first and then I'll ask John. So I don't see any limitations as such of what I've seen in Databricks. So you can use PySpark models, you can use Python, you can use all the Python functionalities or Python modeling from Scikit modeling tools. You can also use SQL if you want to. So I don't see any limitations on what training models we can leverage. But yeah, John, if you are aware of anything.
Yeah, the main thing that is different between SAP Databricks and the native Databricks is that we've taken out the data engineering component, because as Sandesh demoed to you today, the data engineering can be done in SAP, and that's obviously what we're doing and promoting with SAP Databricks. So that's where the data gravity is focused in on using SAP Databricks, is where most of the data is coming from SAP. But certainly from the ML AI side, you get that full functionality of Databricks in SAP Databricks as well. But it's there. There's some of those. The main things is we don't get data engineering, the Genie full functionality components, but you do get the Genie code, and no BI dashboards provided by Databricks, because you use SAC for that.
There are a couple of questions from Zenith. Actually, she answered to my question there. The question is, what I read about BDC is, if my BW PCE is a part of BDC, is it again required to create a product using the data product generator in Datasphere? So it connects back to the track, Zenith. So BW PCE, you have the data, but this is an on-premise one. We just moved into cloud. But to use the delta sharing capabilities, it has to be in that file format, right? So for that, you need to get the data product generator so that it would be in Datasphere.
Yeah. There is also a new feature, which maybe we can cover off sometime soon as well, is the semantic onboarding as well. So that actually is a similar extension to what Sandesh was showing, but a slightly different way of doing it. But I think either way, you do need that BW PCE to support that cloud move.
Yeah. And semantic onboarding, by the way, is a very good feature. We use it in our projects, actually.
Yeah.
We'll save that for another session.
Yeah, that's for another session.
So Zenith has mentioned another question. When we created a product from BW Diesel Actuals, we refer it in object store Datasphere. But when we are creating data products, diesel forecast market data, we are looking for them in data catalog. How they both are different. So one is maybe Sandesh, you can correct me later.
Yeah. So yeah, you can go ahead, Sakesh. That's fine.
Yeah. So the data product which is generating from the actuals is coming into Datasphere core. The second one, you are generating a data product to be consumed in SAP Databricks. So that's the second step. And the third one is how you are consuming the SAP Databricks prediction back in Datasphere. So there are three cases there. That's why they are different. But Sandesh, you can add more.
Yeah, I mean, so the data product, once you generate it, you can access via the Datasphere data catalog. But to share it to the Databricks or any other component where your formation like a Snowflake, you need to go to BDC cockpit. So that is a different different pathway where you need to go and share it from there. You can't share it from a data from a catalog within a Datasphere. Because BDC cockpit is the place where you have all the formations linked.
Yep. Yeah, so to enable that Delta sharing functionality, that's why you need Business Data Cloud, because it's all done through the BDC cockpit. And that's that central entitlements to share and grant the data. And then also back from Databricks, it will create the product in the cockpit, but it'll also create the data product in the Datasphere landscape, which then you can share with other spaces and things like that as well. So we have tried to make it as open as possible. It's just a matter of catering for those scenarios that we have as SAP, and then also the industry and partner-led ones as well. So cool.
Yeah. And there is one last question from here. How does the authorization of BDC comply with Databricks authorization, Unity Catalog?
So depending on the source, so either way, the BDC data products that get shared into the cockpit, then in turn to Databricks, they don't have the role-based security applied natively. So what you can do is bring those role-based security objects across and either apply them at the Databricks layer, or you can apply them at the Databricks access control layer as well. So depending on how you've set up Databricks, either being role-based within the tool or role-based within the identity provider, they're the two options to extend that security and apply it. But again, you can share different products with different groups as well and different end users. So, and you can also limit it on that group restriction data as well. So there's different patterns, and it's just a matter of working through those with your security and governance team as well, just because obviously typically the Databricks consumers get full access to the objects to do their ML on. But in the new world where obviously more users are using it, not just the data analysts, we need to have that security applied. But there's options.
Yeah, agreed. Both are two different kind of formation there. That's fine.
Right.
Okay. I don't see any other questions. Maybe Sandesh, can you go to the next one? Next slide.
Yeah.
So yeah, here is the next webinar which we are planning. So seamless planning is the concept where you wanted to have actuals and plan combined, stored it only one time. So for example, like Datasphere is going to store the actuals and plan, and SSE is going to be virtual layer. And this is some use case where many of the clients have been looking for some time, and it opens a lot more opportunities. That's the session we are planning for April end, but we will post it in LinkedIn shortly. But stay tuned if you are in this space. That is going to be another interesting session. Yeah.
So thanks, guys, for pulling this together. I appreciate it from my side. You did a lot of this heavy lifting and saves me building it out. So great work, and yeah, thank you.
Yeah. No, thanks, John, for
thanks
your support.
a lot, John.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks a lot,
and
John.
providing us this with tenants as well. Yeah.
It's all good.
Yeah. Thanks everyone for joining. Yeah. We will send the recording later. Thank you.
All right. Cheers.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Cheers. Bye.
Bye.